Interface.
10h midi, Interface avec Meling.
Bonjour à tous, vous écoutez Interface Femmes d'Action. On va switcher vers l'anglais. She revolutionized Mauritian art by projecting it onto the international stage. From Mauritius to Dubai, from Centre Idriss Goumani to the Carousel du Louvre galleries, she's constantly built bridges between creation and social action. Her ZeeArts platform now brings together 2,000 artists from around the world, holder of the Emirati Golden Visa, first Mauritian to exhibit at the Carousel in Paris. She transforms every brush into a lever of empowerment. Tomorrow, her Indian Ocean aims to rival Venice and Dakar. Our guest this morning, Zaahirah Muthy, artist, painter, curator, Mauritian cultural entrepreneur based in Dubai. Good morning.
Good morning, Meling. Wow, I'm so impressed.
You deserve
Thank you very much.
If I say borders to you, Zaahirah, which ones have transformed you the most? Those that we cross geographically or those we break professionally?
Well, I think that coming from a small island, Mauritius, art has always been in my DNA, and I always find my purpose from my passion, and I have persistently paved the path that, I have built bridges, cross borders, bring people together from across the world for different initiatives that I have launched in Dubai as well as from across the world.
We say that the most important ones are always invisible. Is that so?
Well, I think that art has always been my passion since I'm in Mauritius, since I'm small actually. I remember that I moved to a new house where my parents just bought a new house, and I always see the wall so clean. So I didn't ask even the permission of my parents, and I painted the wall. And I made graffiti, obviously, and I was just barely 7-8 years, but my parent never stopped me. And I think that, they never stopped me. Why it's a new house and I'm painting outside the wall. But I think that if they did, I wouldn't be who I am today. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for that. And I would like to encourage parents to really encourage their kids at that tender age to give this opportunity for who they can become one day.
Exactly, that's well said this morning, and you wouldn't have been who you are today thanks to them if ever they are listening to the radio or your relatives. When you left Mauritius for Dubai in 2011, you weren't going there to make art, right? You were going there to start another career, but you realized that certain borders are only broken when you change your environment. In Dubai, you understood that a Mauritian woman could become an international cultural entrepreneur. There's something almost fascinating and great in your journey. Before Dubai, you were already in social action. Centre Idriss Goumani, I mentioned this in the introduction. Trust Fund for Social Integration. UNICEF as well. It seems like very early on you understood that art and social engagement were inseparable. Where did this social consciousness come from?
Well, the reason I moved to Dubai was I had a dream. As a little girl, I had a dream, and my dream was to show the world my art. But it was really a struggle for me, and I don't know where to start, who to contact, where to go. But I love Dubai because I used to travel to Dubai for shopping, obviously. Yes. And,
that's a must.
Dubai is a place that I have built myself, but it's also one of the safest countries in the world, I would say. And Dubai is a land that makes dreams a reality. And I'm so grateful to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who has positioned Dubai not only as an art and cultural destination, but he has bring the world together through art. You mentioned about Golden Visa earlier. I'm one of the first Mauritian, I would say, artists. I don't know any other artist that have received a golden visa from His Highness. So if he has given a golden visa for artists, you can imagine his vision, his mindset, where he's coming from. And when I went to Dubai 15 years ago, there were barely art and artistic initiative happening. Okay. And for me, I was working in the corporate world, obviously, but then I feel that activism in me was burning. I had this burning desire inside myself to give back to the community, which what I was doing in Dr. Idriss Goumani Center, Trust Fund, and so on. I was really active in Mauritius, especially in the poverty alleviation program. and in the empowerment of drug addicts women. So then I started ZeeArts,
Yes.
which is my baby.
Mm-hmm.
So ZeeArts, I started in 2012. We're bringing artists to network, to create. The first event I organized was in a mall. It was in the National UAE Day, and we received over 3,000 people who
great
came
response.
to see the artist painting. For me, it was the
creative freedom.
the trigger that I
All
said,
right.
Zaahirah, this shouldn't stop
Yes.
here. You know, you've got talent, you've got people from the UAE, and I start contacting artists. We started with 10 artists. Today we have over 3,000 artists registered with ZeeArts from across the world.
So this early intuition is fascinating when we think about it. You work with drug addicts, treat children as well, and other work is in Port Louis. How does this immersion in Mauritian social fractures, right, nourish your artistic vision? And above all, how does a young woman find the strength to carry all this suffering?
Well, art was my gateway. When I was doing counseling, I remember my first solo exhibition in Mauritius was my patient who inspired me. It was Women Empowerment for Art. I did it at Alliance Française those days. Was
Belle
2000, yes. Je pense que c'est 2009.
Okay.
And this artwork was the inspiring story that I has consumed from my patient. And people look at them in a different way, but I look at them in a different way. When hearing those powerful, those suffering stories, those stories that you cannot believe is happening in our little Mauritius island. So these women were my shield, and they really inspired me. And I created my first solo exhibition from them.
So these experiences were life lessons where you can't remain insensitive. Each encounter taught you human resilience. You discovered that art was this universal language that can transcend, I would say, all barriers, social, cultural, economic. So this conviction gave you the strength to continue because you could see concretely the impact of art on these broken lives. In 2011, the big leap to Dubai after 2009 and your exhibition, you say you were finally able to really give meaning to your talent. It was like a rebirth. So how do you explain this transformation? What did the Emirates offer to a Mauritian artist at that time that Mauritius couldn't give to her?
Yes, indeed. I was so blessed to do my first solo exhibition in Dubai at one of the most prestigious hotels, the one and only Royal Mirage.
Oh, wow.
And the general manager, he's a French general manager. He loved Mauritian because he used to work in Mauritius before. And I remember that he was like, Zaahirah, this is your hotel. And until today, Meling, I still have good relationship, and
Excellent.
we really work together. I think over 12, 11 years.
Wow.
We still work together, and the opportunity that I receive in UAE I have transit those opportunity to other women around the world. Also, what I would say that there in UAE, I receive feedback from my work, which is really meaningful, and that make me grow. I have collectors from across the world now. My art is in museums. My art is collected by private collectors.
And how do you feel about all
I feel
this?
great, obviously. And it's not only about the money that you receive, but it's about the feedback, the
response,
the sense of feeling good that you know somebody is appreciating your art, somebody is questioning your art, somebody is curious about your art. This is what an artist need, and I think that in Mauritius we lack those things. We need to educate our parents, our kids, school systems, to make people appreciate art, because art is not just a beautiful piece hanging on the wall. It's a story that you share.
More.
It's emotion. It holds much more than that.
Exactly.
And apart from, now we talk about art as an asset. Later on, maybe I will talk about what we're planning to do in Mauritius. I think it's a huge asset that people need to understand that it's an investment as well.
It's an investment for change, to bring change. So we are change makers only if we want to let all this happen. Dubai offered the ecosystem that was missing in Mauritius, in a cosmopolitan country where Sheikh Mohammed is positioning to create an art hub. The possibilities are greater. It's easier to take initiatives and lead major projects. The state encourages innovation, and you were one of the first artists to benefit, like you mentioned earlier, on from the Golden Visa. So this Golden Visa is symbolic, an official recognition of your status as an artist entrepreneur. But concretely, how do you build ZeeArts? How do you go from 10 artists? I know that you started talking about it, but then I switched. How do you go from 10 artists at the start to 2,000 today, or even more?
Well, the passion is here, but it's much more than that. It's a lot of hard work. I fell down many times as any other entrepreneur, but I never give up. And I think that vision to make art part of our whole ecosystem. And now we're talking about the SDGs. So how the SDGs has transcended this into the DNA of ZeeArts. I mean, at ZeeArts, we have a section, a project dedicated for women artists entirely, which is called the Art Connects Women. We've launched this project back in 2017 under the patronage of UNESCO. Same thing, we started with 20 women artists from 20 different countries. Next year we're celebrating our 9th edition, and every year I invite a Mauritian artist to represent Mauritius to Dubai. And actually, this was inspired by my dream that I want to exhibit from outside. And, you know, Dubai is not only an art hub, but it's also a global melting pot for people from across the world. Over 200 nationalities live in peace. And
this is amazing. So congrats for this huge achievement. Connect, create and celebrate. That was your motto from the beginning. You started by bringing artists together on social projects. We remember that. They saw that concrete things were happening, that their art had a real impact. Word of mouth worked as well. Now it's technology and digital media, social media. Today, ZeeArts has become this international platform where every artist can find their place, regardless of their level. You create your gallery on the Palm, you mentioned. You exhibit at the Carrousel du Louvre. You received the Leonardo da Vinci Award in Italy. But what strikes me is this phrase: I am an entrepreneur and an artist with a mission. So how do you reconcile pure creation in business? Isn't there a tension between artistic inspiration and commercial logic?
Well, it's not easy because at the end of the day, you know, we realize that, I realize that to be an artist is not enough because the competition is quite high. And you mentioned it with the filtration of social media now, with digitalization of everything happening. You need to be with the trend and you need to be the brand. So everything is branding. Out. Exactly. So what I realized that artists, they can be very creative inside their mind. They can share their story. But when it comes to tell their stories, when it comes to writing their bio, when it comes to do their own marketing, when it comes to talk about their art, here's the lack. And I think that this is a bridge that we want to bring to the art scene and to empower artists for our artist empowerment program. And I think that this is really important because if you want to go with the trend, you want to stand out, as you mentioned earlier, you have to be with the trend, and you have to see social media is a free tools that you can post your art. Me, I post my art. We have buyers from across the world without knowing them. Of course, there is a lot of scam. You need to know how to filter those people. But I think these are tools that you can effectively and efficiently use.
So the artist nowadays in 2025 needs to be an entrepreneur. There's no other choice. This idea that art and business are incompatible is a myth now.
Indeed. We have the art agent, right? So sometimes, you know, I always tell artists, you're the best person to share your story. Don't sell your story with art agent, because the art agent will not share the story the way you are. You know, when me and you, we are sitting next to each other, I can see your facial expression, I can see the vibe, I can feel you, you can feel me, right?
I can feel your
there
energy,
is this energy
emotion.
that is going between me and you.
True.
So same thing that, you know, it's like I have a story, I tell you the story, you will tell this story to 1,000 people
differently though.
Absolutely, indeed. So
and it wouldn't represent your true essence, not as you would do it yourself.
Absolutely.
So that's amazing. So if you want to live from your art, you have to learn to sell it yourself. That would be better to sell yourself. This pragmatic vision contrasts with the romantic image of the artist, you know. You now offer, I would say, capacity building, training to transform artists into entrepreneurs. So concretely, what do you teach them exactly?
Well, the Artist Empowerment Program is a 3-month program that we talk about the leadership, how you take your art as a serious business. It's not just like today you're an artist, tomorrow, my art is not selling.
It's not just a passion.
So I'm going, no, you make it you make a business plan. Right? So talk about communication skills, leadership skills, marketing skills, social media, how to position yourself on social media, how to talk about your art, how to approach a gallery, which is extremely important. What are the collectors looking for? What are the trends? What are the galleries, potential gallery you can approach? So there is a lot of soft skills, we call it, that, you know, university will not teach you. And this is what we teach the artists. But also, apart from that, I would like to talk about 3 initiative that ZeeArts has launched, and we are really shining on a global stage. First is I talk about Art Connects Women.
Yes.
So for this year, we had 112 women artists coming from 112 different countries.
Amazing.
For this project, I'm delighted to share it today that we have received an award with the Minister of Finance in June last month.
Congratulations.
Yes, about the Women-Led Sustainable Impact Initiative for Art Connects Women.
And I'm sure that there will be many more awards to come.
As we said, inshallah.
Yeah.
And the second one is the SDG for Arts, where now we have implemented the SDG for Arts in 17 different countries, and we are reaching the world. And my vision is to go in every small villages, every big cities, to raise awareness with artists. We are already mid of 2015, so 2030 is the date, the year that the UN has set. So we are working towards that, and we have been selected with Mondia Cult, which is happening in Barcelona in September, to represent the SDG for Arts. It's a global ministerial summit that is happening, and I'm sure the Minister of Art and Culture, Mauritius, will be participating. And
you've been working for that. You deserve all this.
We've been there, so we've been shining the globe. Another initiative, the last one, is the United for Climate, where we were the official art partner of COP28, which was held in Dubai Expo 2020. Okay. So this also was a huge milestone for ZeeArts, where we have connected the 7 Emirates for arts.
You talked about recent milestones. Let's talk about 2019. You launched the Mauritius International Art Fair, and we can't not talk about that today. Pharaonic project, artists from Africa, Europe, Middle East and Asia gathered at Conan Art Center, first of all. But you also say Mauritius is not yet ready for events of this scale. So what's the problem?
So the problem is, like any other small island, we have to prepare to be ready to welcome those people. If we want to really position as an art and cultural destination, we have to build the whole ecosystem. And when I say ecosystem, it's not only Mauritius. It's Seychelles, Madagascar, Réunion Island, and Comoros Island. We grow as a whole ecosystem, as an island. So the vision of Mauritius International Art Fair is to position Mauritius as an art and cultural destination, as you mentioned earlier. We have so far completed successfully 3 edition, and now we are coming up with a different formula, with a different strategy to build the whole ecosystem for a summit. So the summit is called Mauritius Art and Cultural Investment Summit, which will be launched very soon, and it's slated for the next 5 years, where we'll bring experts from across the world. We have brought Christie's. We talk about Christie's earlier when we talk about art as investment. So we brought Christie's in 2023 in Mauritius. Yeah. So now we are coming again with a whole concept where we want to position Mauritius and pool those African art collectors in Mauritius as well. So Mauritius will lead those African collectors and the summit in the next 5 years.
So you brought Christie's representative to Mauritius, you mentioned, so this could have been a windfall to boost cultural tourism, but Mauritius could have hosted another probably regional office, but that wasn't the case, right? That wasn't the case. I mean, there are more things to change.
Oh, yes. When we talk about art in Mauritius, it's not only the business of Minister of Art and Culture. It's also the Ministry of Finance. It's the Ministry of Tourism. It's the Ministry of Education. It's the Ministry of Environment. So this is why I talk about ecosystem. So all this infrastructure. Tomorrow you want to welcome people in Mauritius. So we have beautiful beaches, obviously. We have hotels. We have a great hospitality, which we are very well known from global. But we have much more than that to offer our tourists. We have our culture. So our culture, our heritage. So how can we show that? How can we transform that into a tangible asset for Mauritian people and cultural tourism to come to our island?
Let's talk concrete business now. How does the art market work in Dubai versus Mauritius? This difference in investment culture?
Well, there is nothing to compare, obviously, but I think that Dubai, set the tone slowly. Obviously, you have to be ready. You have to boost. It should come from the policy level, from the government level, and transit to private sectors, to NGOs, to civil service, civil organization, and the artists. Today, if Dubai is recognized as one of the world art and cultural hub, it's because the great vision of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, as I mentioned earlier, but also it's the whole ecosystem that he built. Art collectors are coming, but also there is the Ministry of Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is bringing a lot of tourists of museum now. Abu Dhabi is leading the hub. So if you go in Abu Dhabi, before it was people don't talk about art, but now there is a Louvre Museum. There is 3 museums are coming next year in Abu Dhabi. So it's not only about art, it's about the culture, it's about the heritage. So this is really important to make our leader in Mauritius to understand that if you really want to make a change, you have to make a change from the top level. And then this will transit, obviously, to the grassroots level of the population. I remember we did... with Vivo Energy, we had some mural in Mauritius. We went in Rochebois, we did it in Floréal. So all this small activity helped, we bring colors to people's life. So I think all these initiatives...
And you also changed their perspectives on art, and not only in Mauritius, but throughout the world.
Absolutely. Because for our project Little Picasso, for example, at Little Picasso, we have empowered over 300 children coming from deprived region of Mauritius. I don't need to mention those regions, but, it's kind of... We all know about those deprived region, but for us, it's a message that art is not a luxury. Anybody can have access to art. Anybody can paint. Anybody can be a painter.
Exactly, and anybody can be an artist.
Absolutely.
There's no limitation, and depending on where you're born or what you're doing, everybody can become an artist if they want to, and if they have at heart.
As we say, the sky is the limit.
Exactly, you said it all. This international success story you built while being a mother, how do you reconcile the demands of cultural entrepreneurship with family life? Do your children understand this mission that drives you, or no?
Well, it's challenging. First of all, it's challenging to be a mother, and I have 2 boys. One is 23 years and the other one is 8 years. So you see the generation gap. So, but luckily I have my son is growing up to see me as an artist, and always like, Mama is going there, she's there, and I travel a lot. So I think that to inspire, when I go to exhibition, I always bring my little one with me. My elder one, he has a different vision, so he left, he's in France now, but my little one is always with me. He's kind of emerging artist. He's inspired by my work, and I hope one day he will be an artist. I bring him to all exhibition, not even an artist, but someone who understands art, someone who is sensitive to artists, because wherever I try to make him engage. We had a project, I remember a couple of months back, we painted the autism center. So he was barely that time I think 5 or 6, and we painted the whole night. He was with me.
And
He
what was
painting.
his first reaction?
It's fun, it's fun to involve children in whatever we are doing.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
So it's proof as well that this passion is transmitted naturally. It's not forced.
No. And it's like, he's grown up. He knows that, and I travel, as I mentioned, I travel a lot. So he knows that I'm going for this cause and that. And when he see art, we talk about art.
Yes.
Most of the gathering, he's surrounded with artists. So, I think it's great.
He understands that his mother is on a mission and has a mission to accomplish.
Absolutely.
This Women Conics project that you mentioned earlier, this installation with women's shoes from 120 countries, reveals another facet of your commitment. So feminism through art?
Yes, actually, that was part of my installation last year during Art Connects Women. And that I was inspired actually by what is happening in Palestine. And I stand for myself in my own name as a woman, first as a sister, as a wife, as a daughter. And I bring in 120 other women artists with me, 119.
Okay.
So me is 120, and from across the world. So those are used shoes that they used. So they have given me for this installation, and we place it on a blanket where I throw red paint to show that these are blood from those women who are suffering in war. So it's a very strong message to show that no matter where you come from, who you are, which religion you are, which ethnic group you are, which color you are, what language you speak, we all suffer the same.
We all suffer the same, absolutely. There's this universal message and our individual stories as well, all combined together. Time for a short break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in just a few seconds. See you.
RM1 Smatch liegt toujours pour accompagner nous dans nos quotidiens avec ce diri basmati 1121, ce dill huile comestible, ce dill en poudre de la Nouvelle-Zélande, ce gros pois et ce haricot blanc. Smatch liegt toujours bien men bonheur dans nous la famille. Smatch, une marque commercialisée par la STC.
Bienvenue, vous êtes sur RM1. RM1, la nouvelle radio.
Le temps des idées avec Interface.
10h midi, interface avec Meling.
37 minutes past 11, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we're live on RM1 and I have the fantastic Zaahirah with me. Hello, Zaahirah.
Hello.
How are you feeling today?
I'm good, thank you.
Doing great?
Yes.
So just before we talked about the feminism through art, women standing on their feet, that was the message. Art allows us to approach these subjects differently without moralizing discourse. Each shoe told a story of female resilience. What would you like to tell to the women listening to us at the moment about this specific art form?
Well, I think that, as I mentioned earlier, we all share the same feelings, emotions, and I think that sometimes we need to just give a shoulder to each other, not competing with each other, but just come together and give that little thumb up. So this really make a difference to someone's life.
And what's your vision for the future now? This Indian Ocean Biennale you're preparing, is it your big challenge, or how do you see yourself in a few years?
Absolutely, it's one of our biggest challenge that is coming, and we have started our advocacy towards the other island like Seychelles, Madagascar, Comoros, and Réunion Island, as well as Mauritius. So we really look forward. It's not easy. But we think, and I'm sure that we will make something great in the coming years to really position the Indian Ocean Island as the art and cultural destination for Africa and for the globe.
As a serious competitor maybe to Venice or Dakar?
Well, we will not be able to compete with those who are, I don't know, decade, further than us, but we will be like an inspiration, and bringing people from across the world to the island. It's not only about art, but it's also to boost our cultural tourism in the island, to have the creative economic, to boost our creative economic, to create job for people, and for our artists to have a way to showcase their art, to their art can grow, it's like to build the confidence of the artists. So this is really important, and that's what's lacking in the island.
Exactly. It will be this unifying platform that will reveal our talents to the world.
Indeed.
And to the Mauritians as well, to our local people and to
people
international
in Mauritius,
market.
When we did the first edition of MIAF, we sold a couple of pieces, and I was really, really triggered by that. So, because some people, they understand, but they are left on their own, and we don't know which artists to invest, how to start a collection. So from the collector's perspective as well, we want to build that network, to make them understand that art is an asset class where they can invest, and the value keeps on growing and growing. So when we talked about, for example, our bank in Mauritius, they have a pivotal role to play in that. Because when we talk about bank, I met the lady who ran the European Investment Bank in Luxembourg, and she have done incredible work by empowering artists. When you saw those banks, how they are investing, and they're giving back to the community, but also they are making the bank, in a credible way, genuinely investing in art, but also build their image. So I think our bank needs to understand that, and they have a huge role to play here.
They need to understand the artistic potential of Mauritius, first of all.
Absolutely.
And what would be your ultimate dream for Mauritian art?
Well, I think that...
What's that big vision? The biggest dream ever?
I think that if we manage to build that, to position and to build that Biennale des Îles de l'Océan Indien, I think this will be huge, and people will recognize the island immediately as an iconic. And I want, and we are working, me and my team, to position to make that vision of MIAF to be a reality. And I think that our government, our people, decision maker, they need to follow the same vision or come up with a bigger vision. I think that the bill, the Prime Minister has mentioned it as well in the bill this year he talked about art and finance, which we have never hear something like this
previously.
Exactly. So there is an understanding, there is an appetite from our policy decision maker, and I really hope that we can work together as partners and to build the whole ecosystem together.
You hope that Mauritius becomes this cultural crossroads that its geography decides it's to be. So that our artists no longer need to live to succeed, but for that we need this culture of artistic investment that you just mentioned earlier, this education of the public as well, and Mauritius and its people. This young woman who drew on family walls, you mentioned that earlier, and volunteered by instinct, if you could talk to her today in 2025 years after, what would you tell her?
I'm grateful for who I am. I'm grateful to my parents, especially. I come from a very modest family, coming from Plainvert, and I've been roaming around the city, seeing people, hearing stories from desperate women who needs help, and I built myself, and I never give up on my dream. I have this burning desire, and I have fallen down many times, but I never give up. And I think that this is my message to other women, to live your dream passionately and build yourself.
Never give up. That's a beautiful motto, Zaahirah. What would be your last message to our audience today? What would you like to tell them?
Well, I would like to tell them when next time there is an exhibition, please make it a must. Go, encourage the artists, talk to the artists, because the artist has so much to offer. Listen to their story. If you don't have money to invest in art, it's okay, but go and see and bring your children. I am also a collector, and I remember I started collecting my first art with only $300.
Wow. And what happened now?
Now I build my collection, obviously, but it's not about the money that you give to the artist. Start a collection, even if it's a very small amount. It's like when you gamble, how you, like an addiction.
Yeah.
So it started from me like this.
Till you get the adrenaline.
Yes, and then, it becomes a culture. You start, collecting as it's like a style. And somebody else will buy, so you want to show that you buy the biggest. So it's building from this small collection that you start. My son, who is just 8 years old, he did bought one pieces in Paris.
Excellent.
And I was really,
impressed.
very impressed. And I was like, wow, instead of buying, toys or...
No, he bought just a piece of...
it's minimum, but it's like, the gesture. But I would
the
really
intention
advise...
that
The
counts.
intention. But I would like to advise parents, just bring the kids to exhibition. And even, working people, sometimes who are so much stress at work.
Yes.
Just hopping. Now there will be an exhibition in, I think on 31st July.
Okay, where?
In Kuda Art Center. Please, after office hours, go meet the artists, appreciate the art, and learn how our Mauritian artists are, are facing or there are turmoil inside themselves, there are struggle, but appreciate, talk with the artists, learn their stories.
You said it all. Thank you so much, Zaahirah Muthy. Your journey proves that a Mauritian woman can revolutionize international art while keeping this social soul that makes our island's specificity. ZeeArts and your exhibitions show that cultural entrepreneurship has no borders when you have a vision and the determination to make it concrete. Thank you so much for coming here on RM1 today on Femme d'Action. It was lovely to host you.
Thank you very much, Meling. I really appreciate, and you're doing a great job.
You're doing an amazing job as well. Thank you so much, and best of luck for the future. And I can't wait to have you again on the show anytime soon, in a few months, never know, or next week. We never know what can happen. Another award? Thank you so much, Zaahirah. End of our show.